What's up? This is Eno. Welcome to this video. Thought I'd clean my Beretta 92 today. Definitely needs a good cleaning. It's put a few rounds through it lately, so gonna go through and clean it. Unlike some of my other cleaning videos, though, I'm not gonna kind of take you through all the individual steps of cleaning a gun. My cleaning process is pretty similar for all my guns, but I thought I'd kind of give you an update on a few things going on while I'm cleaning the gun here. Thought it'd be a little diversion of my normal cleaning procedure here. Some of the videos recently did my Glock 19, and that was a pretty good video. It's, you know, I did the Glock 19. I've done the Smith & Wesson M&P, and I did the XTM. Pretty sure I did the XTM, and posted all those. Pretty much same video, but just with some different guns. Pretty much same procedure, and there's really not going to be too much new here either. So just thought I would kind of talk about a few other things while I'm cleaning away here. So first of all, the update on the whole Glock 26 thing. Still don't have a Glock 26, unfortunately, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. I could have, you know, taken the refund on the cash and you know, gone someplace else and bought it, or bought something else or something like that, but I decided not to. Just going to wait, and the shop that I got it from is experiencing a little bit of a back order issue with that gun, so it's going to be hopefully sometime this week or next week I'll be getting a call that the Glock 26 is ready to pick up, so that would be nice. But got the gun show coming up here pretty soon too, just a couple of weeks away. I believe it's the weekend after next, if I remember correctly. So I'm definitely looking forward to that too. I'm going to pick up a few things there. Nothing new really to report there. My want list is still the same, although I think I'm going to add a 1911 to that want list. That want list is a little bigger than I probably can afford to get all at once, so I'm going to have to make a few tough decisions as far as that goes. Definitely want to get that Remington 887 Nitro Mag. That's kind of top of my list. I definitely want to get the British Enfield. That's pretty high on my list. Definitely want to get some tools and some reloading supplies. That's high on my list. And definitely want to take a look at some AR-15 parts and stuff like that, pretty much like I stated in the video I did the other day. But the other stuff I have, the Remington 700 and a 1911, I'm going to let that just kind of see where that takes me. If I see something good, or if they don't have some of the other stuff I'm looking for, I'll probably go with that. So I'm pretty excited though. Should be a lot of fun. It's always good just to kind of go around and see what people have, and of course talk to all the people that are there. That's always a lot of fun. Always interesting people at the gun show. Not exactly what I'd consider a great place to pick up chicks, but you know. But then again, I'm married, so I don't need to do that. So, also a little update on the I posted a video a week or so ago called "Looking for Ruffians," and thought I'd give you a little update with that one too. We haven't experienced too much more in the way of vandalism on our property. If you want to go back and look at that video again, you can kind of get the backstory there about some of the problems we've been having. Although I did have a little bit of a development today, partially the reason why I thought I'd make this video. I was going out the back door of our building, taking some garbage out to the dumpster, and noticed that the boyfriend of the girl who lives next to us, actually her father lives in a apartment that's above the business next to us, and she had the SWAT team was looking for her a couple weeks ago. I don't know whatever came about that. I haven't really been able to find out. But she has a boyfriend who we suspect is kind of behind the rash of thievery and vandalism that we've had on the property, both our property and the property next to us, the business that they live above. They've had some business as a used car lot, and they've had some issues with people stealing batteries and stealing tires and all sorts of good stuff going on there. Well, went out the back door to throw out some garbage in the dumpster today, and I saw the kid in the back of our property, and his car was parked kind of like backed into the rear area of our property, and he was messing around with the back end of it. And it's a vehicle that I've never seen around there before, and I'm there every day, so you know, I keep tabs on what's kind of going on, especially since with the recent developments we've had. I've gotten pretty good student of what's happening around there. So definitely not anything that I recognized. It was a vehicle I've never seen before, and he's farting around with it back there. And after seeing him, I kind of was looking at him a little bit, trying to figure out what he's doing, and I concluded that in messing around with the back, he was taking the license plate off the back of the vehicle. And I went back there to where he was, and he kind of, you know, was kind of defiant, didn't really care that I was there. And I went up to him, and I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, didn't really answer me. So I said, "Hey, look, whatever you're doing, I'm sure it ain't good. And from what I know about you, I'm pretty sure it's illegal. That being said, you also don't have the permission to be on this property, so I consider it trespassing. And, you know, get the hell out or I'm going to call the cops. And you can explain what you're doing back there to them." So he kind of gave me a snide look and jumped in his car and ripped out of there. A buddy of mine was there at the time, too. He had pulled up, just coming over to say hi kind of thing. So he witnessed the whole thing, too. And then I noticed he had gone up front and parked his car by the apartment that they live in. And there was no license plate on the back of the vehicle. And that's why I concluded that he was taking the license plate off in the back of our property. And then I witnessed him walking around the used car lot next to us, looking at the backs of all the cars. And wouldn't take Sherlock Holmes to deduce that he was looking for a license plate to steal. So I don't know if he necessarily knows that, you know, I figured out what he was doing. We'll find out. Just kind of watching him for the rest of the evening, and I went over there again about an hour ago, and didn't see any difference, didn't see any changes. Car's still sitting there, doesn't have a license plate on it. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to see if, well, maybe a license plate all of a sudden pops up on that vehicle. In which case, if it does, I'm most likely going to have to report it. Really wish that the guy that owns the business next to him would get rid of those people. They're nothing but bad news. You know, but, you know, what can you do? You can only take care of your own stuff. You can't force other people to do something. So I can't force him to kick the tenant out. Technically, it's not the tenant's problem. It's his freaking daughter's boyfriend. I'm sure he doesn't give a shit. So we're just going to have to continue our vigilance, looking around the property. We've noticed that he's become pretty blazing with his activities over there. He knows that we go over there and check out the property quite routinely at night. So he's kind of begun doing most of his stuff that I've seen now during the day, which makes it easier to figure out what he's doing, obviously. But you know, definitely taking a little bit of a different tactic. So I suspect if something goes down in the next few days, you know, if a license plate pops up on that vehicle and we report it, we're probably going to be able to hopefully put an end to this whole thing. Hopefully get him arrested or something. Get him out of there. That would be the best thing to happen at this point in time. Got these last week from Glockmeister. You know, I'm not a huge fan of these. Not a big fan of these at all. But it's all I can do until I find another source for those pinpoint tools. I'm kind of ticked that I haven't been able to find a good source yet. But I'm looking. Some people have been messaging me lately asking where they can find those. And, you know, unfortunately right now I don't really have a good source for them. So I'm going to keep looking. So it's kind of hard to find them on the internet. If you, for instance, like Google search, you know, pinpoint tool, you don't find anything that would be even remotely conducive to cleaning a gun. You find mostly computer things, so definitely not the right word to search there. Foam pinpoint tools, things like that. Can't really find anything, but you know, it'll pop up. That's one of the things I'm going to be looking for at the gun show too. Whoa, that one's messed up. That's a doozy. Definitely something I'm going to be looking for at the gun show too is hopefully somebody there has a pinpoint tool. If they do, I'm going to buy some. I'm also going to ask where he gets them from, because I would like to know. So I keep threatening to bring out my Glock 22. I keep threatening. Very soon. I'm not shooting it a whole lot right now, which is why I haven't been doing any videos with it. It's kind of put away. I shot it a little bit a week or two ago, but I've been mainly doing 9mm lately. 9mm is just, you know, less expensive to shoot, and you know, if you're just going out and killing paper, you know, it's a little bit more economical. I get most of my black powder stuff from a company called Lodgewood, which is out of Whitewater, Wisconsin. And as far as black powder goes, and defarbed muskets, which I won't go into great detail about what a defarbed musket is, but if those of you who are familiar with black powder, defarb basically means you take away all the modern things that are on the gun, serial numbers and all that kind of stuff, and you relocate them to areas that you can't see, and then you try to return the gun or the musket or the rifle as close as you possibly can to its original authentic condition or state, and that costs money, but if you're not into reenacting or historical interpretation, it's not really that important. Those guys that strive for authenticity for reenacting and stuff like that tend to worry a lot more about that kind of stuff. And if you're just owning it to have some fun, it's not really that big of a deal. So, been fighting a cold the last couple weeks too. Some people have commented like, you keep sniffling during your videos. And I do. Been fighting a little bit of a cold. Seems like it wants to develop into something, but still hasn't as of yet. All it's been is annoying. So, hopefully going to be over that pretty soon. So, I do love this Beretta. I keep saying it. I don't always tout it as one of my more favorite guns, but and every time I take it to the range, I wind up shooting it a lot more than I thought I would. It's just a fun gun to shoot. It's not very practical, in my opinion, for, you know, I wouldn't consider it a really viable concealed carry weapon. I guess, you know, it would be a good weapon for open carry, I guess, or service, obviously. It's a good service weapon. But, you know, most people are not carrying 9mm for service anymore. Some people do, but most people carry 40s. So that's definitely pretty neat. That's really all the goings on I got right now. Update on the 26, update on the van. Looking for Ruffian's video, I mentioned that our van got the gas stolen out of it by puncturing a hole in the tank. And It's still at the shop at the moment, getting the gas tank replaced. We were able to find a junkyard tank, but a little bit too much there. There we go. I'm going to be getting one of those, I don't know what you call them, because I'm not a big hunter, but those game cameras where you can set it up and look for game coming into an area, and it'll take photographs based on movement. I'm strongly considering getting one of those and putting it on our property. And actually, I was kind of thinking today what I might do is when I get the van back from the shop, what I probably will do is set the van up in such a way that I can point the camera at it and then just leave it there. And that way, if that dude next door decides to mess with it again, hopefully I can catch him in the act. Because not catching him in the act was kind of a pain in the butt. To have the vehicle vandalized and then knowing basically who did it, you know, I think it's pretty obvious who did it. But not being able to do anything about it from the standpoint of legally is kind of infuriating. So, thought maybe I might set it up for him. See if I can't catch him in the act. He's dumb enough to do it, I'm sure. And you notice about your common criminals, they're not the smartest people in the world. Well, they think they're smart, but eventually they slip up. So there we go. A nice, clean Beretta 92. A clean gun is a happy gun.